guys have other options outside of moving to Chicago, like to go.
This is what they ordered for us to move to. They ordered us to move there. They ordered for us to move there. They didn't give us an option. We've been looking since August, but the thing is, it's 347 units, I believe, out here. So 346 other people I've been in competition with since August looking for a place. Not only am I in competition with the other 346 units, I'm in competition with the hundreds of people that they're giving out Section 8 vouchers for in the city as well. They're filling their whole list of Section 8 vouchers. They're giving out vouchers on a weekly basis to at least 100 or more people, if not more. So not only am I in competition in East Chicago with those 346, I'm in competition with hundreds of other people also.
Seems like a lot of. Is this the eviction? Is this the notice that they gave?
Yes, that's the notice of where I have to.
Okay. Did you want to put this on there? Yeah. When did you guys receive that? Yesterday? 2 days ago?
Was it 2 days ago? 2 days ago.
You want to read that?
I'll let you read it.
It says, emergency transfer approval notification. Dear Ms. Daniels, on March 1st, 2017, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, reviewed vacancies at the West Calumet Complex and determined that the East Chicago Housing Authority, just give me a minute because I'm upset. Emergency transfers in ordinance with the provisions of the Voluntary Compliance Agreement, currently in effect between EPA, which is the East Chicago Housing Authority, and HUD's Fair Housing Enforcement Office and Compliance, EPA's, with initial emergency transfer beginning on March 31st, 2017. The housing unit at 13040 South Greenwood Avenue, apartment 966, Chicago, Illinois, will be available to you starting March 31st, 2017. EPA has scheduled a mover to transfer your belongings on the week of April 3rd, 2017 through April 7th, 2017. Boxes for self-packing can be picked up at the property manager's office beginning Monday, March 20th, 2017. You are responsible for ensuring that all items are ready for transfer by the initial date. Failure to comply with this notice may result in the tentative of legal proceedings by EPA. Additional, the Rent Abatement Act by the VCA, what was the VCA? I'm sorry. Voluntary Compliance Agreement will expire on March 31st, 2017, and your obligation to resume payment of monthly rent not to exceed 30% of your income is effective as of April 1st, 2017. You will be required to pay rent for April and all subsequent months at the transfer transfer unit until the effective date of subsequent rental agreements with a tenant protection voucher. Failure to pay rent may also result in initiation of legal proceedings. If you disagree with this determination in ordinance with Chapter 14 IB of EPA's administration and continued occupancy policy, you must request a hearing within 10 business days of the date of this letter. Hearings may be requested in writing. Written agreements, written requests for hearing must be submitted to the property manager's office. Tia Colley, Executive Director.
So what right here is flowery language for go fuck yourself. That's what that is. And again, you would never see this in a nice white neighborhood. Never. So if they're saying you could appeal, have you decided to appeal?
I'm waiting to hear from the attorneys to see what is the next step that we need to do. But more than likely, I'll be appealing because I'm not moving to Chicago.
And can you tell me about the other residents you've spoken to since this came out? Does everybody even know? What's the mood of other residents?
They're pissed off. They're very highly pissed off because a lot of us were still looking. A lot of us are still in the process of finding places. We're just waiting on the inspections, but we only have one inspector in the city of East Chicago to do all the inspections still. No one else has been hired. No one knows if these units have even been tested for lead, arsenic, the water, nothing. So we're waiting to hear from them if these homes are even suitable for us to move to, because no one has told us anything. We're waiting.
Kind of like lab rats.
Yeah. Someone wanted to know if have you guys requested a hearing? Have you guys tried to request a hearing?
Well, we just got the letters 2 days ago. We just got the letter 2 days ago. So we all have to go to the office and apply for a hearing in writing, or a grievance is what they called it, in writing. So.
And let me explain how American bureaucracy works. If they give you 10 days forced eviction, and then they say, oh, you could appeal, ooh, they might drag their feet, and your appeal might be heard after you end up moving to Chicago.
Correct. That's what I'm thinking they're on the way of doing. A sneaky way. And then it's not 10 regular business days. They're counting weekends as well. It's 10 days from the day you receive the letter. So I want the East Chicago residents of West Calumet to know that you don't have 10 business days. You got 10 actual days. That's including your weekends as well.
Someone said, which is interesting, just about the city not wanting to take responsibility, and you know, once they move you to Illinois, it becomes Illinois' problem. You guys will kind of be like refugees, you know, in a sense, right?
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking that when they moved the Illinois residents out here, they were given some type of stipend or some type of money for inviting them or opening up their doors to their city to them, of East Chicago, of Indiana rather. So I'm thinking that when we move to Illinois, they're getting some type of monies for inviting us in and letting us in. It's like I scratched your back. Now it's time for you to scratch mine.
Private prison.
Yeah. It's just a trade-off, basically. That's what I'm thinking it is, because no one can tell me anything different.
And the mayor here, he's not answering his phones for reporters, for constituents. No. Has the mayor spoken with anyone about this?
Not as I know of. I'm even blocked from sending text messages to the mayor.
Really?
Really. I can show you it on my phone.
I will. And, you know, listen, I've been to a few places, whether it's North Dakota here. You know, 1 out of 50 times you actually have a success story. The rest, you're just depressed, miserable. You feel like you make no impact in journalism. But that doesn't mean you stop fighting. So I think that, you know, however you choose to do it, there will be a press conference tomorrow at the City Hall here in East Chicago at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I will be there. I left the mayor's number in the Facebook here. I say keep calling that mayor, because you know what? Even if he does not reverse this decision, which he should, you know, he has a duty to respond to the constituents and the people he's forcefully evicting. And I don't want to hear about the East Chicago Housing Authority. It's the mayor. He could stop. He oversees it. So the mayor, who has advocated for more money from the governor, well, if you're advocating for money, we'll start for advocating for people, because you're not just talking about a sick single mother. You're talking about uprooting her kids, and a lot of kids. Me and Ty drove through here. There's kids, you know, still here. So we're not going to let people do this shit and stomp all over the poor and the middle class without them hearing from you and from me. Because if you just continue to let you know, poor minority people, whether it's black, Latino, poor white people, basically be the scum at the bottom of, you know, the politicians' shoes, they're just going to continue to keep doing it. So I encourage you to make your voice heard. You have the number. I can tell you right now that secretary does not like the Young Turks.
Give YouTube the number.
Yeah, YouTube, the number. Hold on. So the number for the mayor, 219-391-8200. That's 219-391-8200. So I say starting at 9 a.m., don't call once, call twice. And if you're in the East Chicago area, if you're in the Chicago area, it's 45-minute drive. If you can play hooky from work, you know, who am I to tell you what to do? But 1 o'clock, City Hall, there will be a press conference / protest. I'm going to be here for a few days because at the end of the day, this is beyond just environmental racism. This is a civil rights issue. You cannot, on one end, let people live in a contaminated cesspool for decades, permanently affect their lives. This woman has health issues, unfortunately, probably for the rest of her life. I mean, she's being modest, but I've spoken with her. Some days she can't get out of bed, and she's 40. So it's a civil rights issue, and it's not just about stopping them from being forced to move to another neighborhood. It's about making it right so that the next time politicians want to say, don't worry about the lead issue, we'll deal with that later. No, they have to deal with it now because that's the mentality. Let's not worry about it now. Those are just some poor black people. They don't consciously say it. That's what they think. And it's unacceptable, whether it's Native Americans dumping a pipeline on a reservation or, building a housing project on top of a lead plant. Who could have thought that would have ended up poor, right? You have any last thoughts before we go?
I just want people to take a second look at what's going on. And the next time before you make a comment about somebody, get to know all of what they're going through before you make a comment. You know, you don't know me, I don't know you. But if you got to know me, I think you would be more understanding of the situation that me and hundreds of women, single parents, are out here struggling with. That's all.
And for the YouTube video, I will put in the description her email. So if you want to send kind words, encouragement, if you want to help in some way, I'll put that information after this is done. For Facebook, for YouTube, I'm going to be here all week. It's not enough just to watch this video and share it once. Share it. Keep sharing it. Hashtag East Chicago. Spread that number that I gave you to your family, to your friends, to your crazy Republican uncle. As I always say, it's not that most people are lacking compassion. Most people are lacking information. My Republican Fox News Kool-Aid drinking father, God bless him, when I showed him some of the videos from Standing Rock, he said, oh my, what the hell is going on there? Why isn't Obama doing anything? And that's somebody who watches Sean Hannity every night. So I know it's a long story. So a lot of people don't even know what's going on in East Chicago because you want to know why? All they see is about Russia and Donald Trump's tweets and what Ivanka's wearing. So that's why I'm here. Okay? So call the mayor, show up, City Hall tomorrow if you can. Please spread the word.
Two questions. Someone wanted to know, I know you brought it up, but if there's any actual place to donate, some people were asking, is there a place to go to donate to help? And
I don't think there's one uniform place to donate. I could find out. Just follow my social media. I'll find out if there is one.
And the other question is a personal question. I was wondering. So I grew up in Compton and in Ujima Village, and we had the same issue, and they tore it down, but it was unlivable because it was built on a gas plant, an oil plant back in the 70s, and I have ADHD, and I get headaches all the time, and I'm wondering, do you think that being here, living here under these conditions, has something to do with your sons having neurological issues?
I believe so because Xavier was less than a month old when I moved to this complex. So everything that was done with Xavier, if the water has lead in it, I was making formula, I was bathing him. Everything that he's done has been done in this complex. And my other children, they're not in the best of health, but they're not as sickly as Xavier is. And before I moved into the complex, I lived right outside of the complex where the trailers were set up for the EPA. So my grandmother lives within walking distance. So my thing with Xavier is that I didn't know about the paint, the lead paint. Back when we first moved into the complex, they painted our bathtubs. So when the children were being bathed, the paint was actually coming off the sides of the tub, and it was embedded in some of their creases and different things that I didn't know about it because, I was raised that you use Comet to clean the bathtub. So every time you would scrub it, you would see the paint peelings just coming off. So I'm assuming that, moving out here, it caused Xavier a lot of more problems because my other children don't have ADHD. And he was actually born and raised inside of this complex.
The Young Turks is on in 5 minutes, so I'll get in trouble if I don't get off. But like I said, 9 a.m., you have the phone number for the mayor. The city hall will have a press conference at 1 o'clock, and start spreading this around social media. East Chicago, hashtag East Chicago. I will be here for a few more days. We will be live as much as we can. Thanks, guys.